Hey guys, Ash here from C4E Tech, and this is a build 9 months in the making. People have been known to have kids faster. Now we started planning for this a long time back, but then COVID happened, and there was a lockdown and another lockdown and another lockdown. So basically, I decided I wanted a kick-ass gaming PC with the latest specs possible. And the 3 series NVIDIA cards did not exist as we were putting this build together on paper. So it's the 2080 Ti that we're going with. I worked with a couple of very talented modders from Havok Nation for this build. So they had to come down here from Pune, and all the lockdowns made it quite impossible. But finally, they did come down here. We did build a PC. And today, let's take a close look at this one. I'll talk about what we used in this build, and at the end of this video, let's also check out some gameplay, the FPS and all that stuff. Now before we get to it, let me cut to a short clip so you guys get to know a little bit about the guys who I worked with for this build.
So actually, we started Havok Nation in 2013. The concept was like, where in Pune, there was a lack of you can say the components, the gaming components.
That time the scene was once like these guys used to play CS professionally, and he used to play these MMORPGs also.
Okay.
And he liked a Razer mouse.
Okay.
It was the Naga, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's a
It was
Naga
a Naga
mouse.
Molten Edition with
It's 12 button
buttons,
mouse.
12
Oh,
button.
I had the Epic, Naga Epic when it was one of my first mice when I was editing.
Yes.
So these guys roamed Pune. They didn't find it anywhere, and they went down to Mumbai
Okay.
for the mouse.
Okay.
So like that was the case in Pune back then.
So how did that lead to you guys starting up?
So what we planned something like
Okay.
there should be a destination for gamers. Everything under one roof.
So first we start by removing the backplate. Guys, this is Gigabyte Z490 Aorus Xtreme waterforce. It's a high performance board with everything we wanted for this build. And of course, since Intel and Gigabyte are sponsoring it, overkill was cool. Now removing the water block, dropping in the oh so powerful 10900K. For storage, we've gone with this 2TB Aorus PCIe Gen 4 M.2 SSD. It's rapid fast with 5 Gbps read and 4.4 Gbps write speeds sequential. Next up, applying the thermal paste. This is Kingpin KPX. The 10900K comes with 10 cores and 20 threads. On top of that, it can turbo all the way up to 5.3 GHz on a single core. Basically, it can crunch through renders and productivity tasks really fast. So going with the best cooling that we can, it made sense. Popping in the 4 sticks of Gigabyte Designare RAM. This is 3200 MHz CAS 16, so high speed, low latency. 32x4 makes for 128 gigs here. If gaming was just the priority, then I might have settled for lesser RAM. But given that we are also looking at this build from a production standpoint, from an editing standpoint, we decided to go all in. By the way, see that belt to the back? That's coming up next. Anyway, the case here is the Inwin 309. Inwin cases usually look great, they're priced sensibly, but they aren't the most convenient to build in, and the 309 is no different. But it does come with these 144 individual addressable RGB lights, and they do give us some interesting thumbnail options. So we started with mounting the 3 noise blocker E-loop fans. These are for the radiator, the ones that are going to be actually doing all the hard work, moving a lot of air to keep those temps in check. They are quite silent too. I mean, that's pretty obvious from the name, but hey, worth a mention. For the visible fans, we've gone with the Metallicgear Skiron. While they don't push as much air as the noise blocker E-loop, they still do enough and manage to look great. Because RGB, right? This is push-pull here. The radiator is Bykski thin. This is a copper rad with a pretty slim profile. Placing the board in and tightening the screws now. This is a high-performance board with everything we wanted for the build. Desktop-of-the-line NVMe, as many M.2 slots as I could ever want, dual Thunderbolt 3, basically everything from gaming to productivity and even overclocking. This board can handle it all. The PSU is Gigabyte's Aorus P850 watt. 80 plus gold PSU, quite a solid power supply, modular of course. And now we are connecting the regular cables. Reservoir time. By the way, this one comes to bite us in the later, and you'll see why before this video is done. So next, connecting the tubes, and that's followed by more cable management. more RGB fans to the front. The dust filter is up. Another Skiron goes to the back for exhaust. This here is the Aorus 2080 Ti, and like I said at the start, we've been putting parts together for this build right from Feb of this year. That said, I still wanted to swap this with the 3090, but hey, you know how I told you the placement of the reservoir is gonna come by, doesn't it? Well, here's how that happened. The 3090 is just too big, it does not fit in here, not even if we mount it vertically. Anyway, that's a problem for a different video. Liquid's in now. Now we're going to mix our coolant in distilled water since we don't want any nasty algae or any other microbe growth in the system. Also, having a biocide in the loop helps since we don't want corrosion to affect the exposed metal portion of our water blocks. And the build's done. How does it look? Leave a comment. So guys, it's been quite a while since we actually built this PC. So from the last part of the video that you saw, in fact, because of various COVID related issues, the fact that I built this PC was a huge positive because I got stuck at home and I was testing this PC at home and everything else got stuck in the office, and the office was quarantined for a bit. My home was quarantined for a bit. So basically, this has been my work from home setup for a few weeks now. So any which ways, which is why you can actually see a second monitor here and all that. I've been playing around with streaming a little bit on Twitch. So now let me show you guys how this one actually performs. So first, let's actually go into Aorus App Center, open up SIF, that's the System Information Viewer. I'm gonna switch the fans to full. Generally, it's a pretty silent rig, but right now for performance, I am switching it to full. I'm going into Easy Tune. With Easy Tune right now, the CPU, one core is hitting 5.3 GHz. I'm just gonna OCA it to 5.5. Again, here's the weird thing. I see the RAM at 2667. It shouldn't be that. So let's quickly go into BIOS. And I think we have stability issues. Oh yeah, when this is my primary, just going to XMP, can be like the bent neck lady from the first haunting. Any which ways, let me save and exit. Yes. So guys, in these last few weeks, I've been using this extensively for editing, and from a performance perspective, this seems to be quite a good option. The 10900K has been really good at showing through renders. So we are connected to that, to the office through a 10 gig Ethernet cable. For some reason, I was not able to get the 10 gig Ethernet working on this motherboard, but I did have a QNAP Thunderbolt to 10 GB adapter lying around. That's something I was using for my laptop in the past. And hey, there are two Thunderbolt ports on this motherboard, so I'm using one of those. So we are connected via 10 gig LAN. So it's been great for renders and edits. So let me just quickly, let's start with running Cinebench. So we get 81 points here, so that's pretty solid. Okay, now that we're done with Cinebench, let's actually try some gaming. Let's start with, well, Horizon Zero Dawn. So guys, before we start, this is a G-Sync capable Acer monitor. It's 4K, it's an IPS panel, and it is, okay, it doesn't matter if it's an IPS panel. It's 120 Hz. You can overclock it to 144, but I've not done that here. So the refresh rate is at 120 Hz, V-Sync is on. So let's go ahead and looking at the graphics, ultimate quality, everything's at ultra, maxed out settings here. So we are getting 82 FPS, 80-ish right now. And I haven't really played this game with the keyboard and mouse. And hey, guess what? I'm a natural. That's nice. I think this is E. Yes. Oh. Okay, I've got some striders. Shoot the blaze. Okay, let's control. That works. Oh. So yeah, we are currently at 100% utilization, 77 degrees, around 70. So let's jump out. For 4K gaming, this seems to be excellent numbers. So where do we actually find the saved stuff?
Video plus FLO9.
Yes, I did.
That's inside documents.
Okay, so 71.6 FPS average, minimum 62.8, max 84.2, 1% low, 46.8, 0.1% low, 21.1. So it's actually not bad, actually pretty good. So let's jump into Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Okay, we've got the preset to the highest and we've got ray tracing enabled. It's at 4K and let's run the game. See, the game looks beautiful. Just look at those lighting effects. I mean, this is probably the best version of the game, unarguably. So yeah, just look at the detail here. And we're still getting a good 90 to 100 FPS. That's at 4K. So pretty nice. So guys, with the Shadow of the Tomb Raider, we've ended up with 95.7 FPS average. So the numbers, as you can see, they are pretty impressive. So of course, to answer the ever-present question of can it run Crysis, let's switch to Crysis Remastered now. I suck at FPS, but hey, I love you guys enough that I'm gonna actually put myself through this. So yeah, let's run Crysis. So guys, Crysis Remastered. Let me actually mute. Okay, so we're at Crysis Remastered and graphics, it's 4K, 120 FPS, and I have everything cranked all the way up to can it run Crysis. So you got low, medium, high, very high, and can it run Crysis. So applying, it's a very heavy performance mode, yes. Okay, we are doing approximately 40 FPS now. F11. Okay, we're getting approximately 30 FPS, 26, 27. So under the can it run Crysis mode, we've averaged about 30 FPS, which is not all that much if you're looking at competitive play. But hey, for console gamers coming on over, 30 FPS is pretty much the standard on consoles, at least current gen consoles. I'm not talking about the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. So not great, but hey, it is playable at 4K. So guys, this PC, I didn't just build it for gaming, because of course I didn't go with the 10900K just for gaming. Now the 10900K is also great for productivity, and so, well, productivity is what we are going to be looking at right now. Some kind of editing. Like I said, I've been stuck using this as my primary editing rig for a while, and it's performed great. So let me show you guys that. So this is 4K footage, 4K 30 FPS footage, and the scrubbing is pretty decent. I'm just gonna show you guys how the render actually works here. Let's see how fast this can render. So right now I'm just gonna match source and render, create a render called render, and export, or rather export. So it's supposed to take 4 minutes-ish. So it's a 15-minute video. So as of now, it's showing around 3.5 minutes for a 15-minute video. So that's about 25% of the time of playback, which is pretty good. Last gen flagship processors and even a couple of generations old flagship processors that we have on other rigs, they have been noticeably slower. So yeah, I'm seriously happy that I went with a 1000K for from a production perspective. So let this run. So guys, I am shooting in yet another location. Yes, that's because my amazing cameraman actually let the footage stop rolling. So I did an outro right next to the PC, but then hey, we figured out the video was never rolling for it. So here I am doing it again. And if you like the extra work we've put in here, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon if you haven't yet. So jokes apart, I've tried some new things with this PC build video. I've not done the regular old time lapse, not the regular formulaic videos. I've tried something a little different. If you did like it, if you like the more conversational aspect of the video, leave a comment below, let me know. And I guess that's pretty much it. This has been, I've had a lot of fun with this build and the testing. So hope you guys enjoyed the video too. And thanks for your time. Thanks a lot for watching. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Till then, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4E Tech. Have a nice day. Bye-bye now.